All right, ladies and gentlemen, our program will begin in 10 minutes. 10 more minutes. So keep enjoying that shade somewhere. And we'll start again in 10 minutes. Vamos a empezar en 10 minutos. Vamos a empezar en 10 minutos. Say that in Cantonese, though. I need another interpreter.
just if you all can just gather folks and have them sit in the front, and then let them know what channel the interpretation is on.
All right. Look at that. Too loud. All right. Okay. So here's what's happening now. We're going to, for our brothers and sisters that need translation, we're going to give translation instructions. And just after we do that, then we'll get the program underway. Okay.
Hola, bienvenidos a todos. Mire, vamos a tener interpretación y por favor, si necesita interpretación en español, pase a van a levantar la mano allá en esa mesa y ustedes nada más indiquen, traigan su identificación y ahí les van a proporcionar su recibidor. Gracias.
I have an announcement in Vietnamese. Kính thưa quý vị, chúng tôi có thông dịch viên trong ngôn ngữ tiếng Việt. Nếu quý vị cần sử dụng, xin quý vị đưa thẻ bằng lái xe hoặc là thẻ căn cước để có thể lấy dụng cụ thiết bị để có thể nghe chúng tôi dịch. Và cái băng tần sẽ là băng tần số 3. Xin cảm ơn.
Hello, this is Cantonese interpretation announcement. Hello， 你哋好，歡迎你哋參加我哋今日呢個會議嚇。我哋今日有廣東話翻譯嘅，你哋應該都係有嗰個機。如果你聽唔到嘅話咧，你請舉手。我哋喺對面嗰度，你揾我哋或者係我哋會嚟幫你嚇。唔該，
好，这是 announcement in Mandarin。嗨，大家早上好，欢迎来会议哈。如果需要有国语翻译的，我们有翻译机，然后我们的频道是2号频道。如果有问题的话，您可以举手，我们会过来帮您。谢谢。
All right. I think I'm taking this mic up there. All right, all right, all right. I said after the interpretation, we were going to get this program started. Are you ready? That was a good practice run. Let me introduce myself, and I'm going to give you some instructions, and then we're going to get this rolling. All right, my name is Anita Wells. I am the statewide deputy political director for SEIU 2015. Good afternoon, Oakland. All right, there's this chant that goes, who rocks the vote? Now, I'm going to ask that question, and then you say, Labor rocks the vote. You got it? And I'm going to say, who rocks the vote? And you're going to say, Labor rocks the vote. And I'll do it again, and then I'm going to say, and when Labor rocks the vote, you say, we rock it all the way out. You got me? Okay. No, it's not. You ready? Listos. Here we go. Who rocks the vote? Oh, we failed on the first try. You're supposed to say, when I say who rocks the vote, you say, I said Labor rocks the vote. All right? We got it now? Okay. Who rocks the vote? Almost. Okay. You did say it was complicated. Fine. All right. How about when I say no on the recall, you say no on the recall. They can't mess that one up. All right, let's try that one. When I say no on the recall, you say no on the recall. I said no on the recall, you say no on the recall. They got that one? Okay, we got some good callers. They are still sitting down. Child care providers are standing up. Let's welcome all the labor in the house. It's 10 to 1 in the house this morning. Okay, I heard a little bass over here. Do we have 5 to 1 in the house? What about UHW? Are you in the house? They're like, yes, party of 2 right here. Is CFA in the house? Yes, casually, right over here, right over here. Is 2015 in the house? All right. I'm sorry. Huh? I didn't catch you. Give me the mic. Oh, is the fight for 15 in the house? I didn't say fight for 15 because we're doing a pathway to 20. We got all labor in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome at St. Mary's. We're going to go ahead and get this party started, or program. I'm sorry, it's a program. We have a program, not a party, not a party. But what we're going to do is make sure we turn out people to the polls to vote what? No. Y'all are real sharp right here in the front. All right, let's welcome our member to the stage. Now, she told me earlier, that's you, Miss Brenda. You got to get your phone together because I'm calling you up right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage. She's shaking her head. But she's a powerhouse member for us, executive board member, Miss Brenda. Don't get me.
In the house. Hello, everyone. It's nice to see a lot of you that I saw on Tuesday. Starting with my friends over there, Miss Mia, and of course, our lady, Barbara Lee. Hey, Barbara. My name is Brenda O'Coley. I've been a home care worker between 35 to 40 years. When I started working in home care, I was making $2.35. But don't be mad, because I had a son out of that that's now a doctor. I'm here today to tell you guys, don't go to sleep. That's what happened to us before. They say he's in the lead. Don't let that fool you. Get those ballots in. That's what I'm going to say to you. Well, I was told when I got up here not to say any bad words. Don't cuss. I don't know a politician yet who ain't said a bad word. Damn in hell, now I'm through with it. Oh, they instructed me. They called me on the phone 2 or 3 times. Don't say this and don't say that. Wrong person. They knew that when they asked me. So it's just so nice to see everybody out here today. And know on this recall is very important. Gavin Newsom has been good to California. A lot of us and our families wouldn't be living today if it wasn't for him. If he didn't have the sense to shut down when we needed it, where would we be? If it wasn't for the care workers that went in these homes when nobody else would, we would have lost a lot more. We knocked on doors when nobody else would. 2015 ain't no joke. My old saying is it ain't no stopping us now. So we need to get together. If it's on the 14th, the last day, go take your ballots in. Don't listen to that news. Oh, he's 60% ahead. Oh, okay. Went to sleep one night and woke up with, need I say more? So I'm here today for everybody out here for the strength to get up, because I didn't hardly sleep last night. Worrying about what I was going to wear. Who going to be there? Huh? You know we do good in Oakland. We come out to show out in the Bay Area. So I'm just here to say I'm so glad to see so many people out here. And the thing about it, much more would have come had they been invited. So you see, you are an elite group of people just to be here. Among such dignitaries, as I must say. If you was there on Tuesday in San Leandro, you know what I'm talking about. When you can go home and tell your granddaughter, oh, I saw Camilla Harris. You know what she told me? Where's the picture? Was Miss April there? Because when I get ready to go somewhere, sometimes you have to bring the kids with you. So without further ado, I'm here to introduce someone with the sexiest name I know. Not only does he have a sexy name, he's a sexy man. And that's Mr. Dufo de la Cruz. What a name, what a name. Thank you.
Only Miss Brenda Acoli can do it like that. Good morning, Oakland. I said, good morning, Oakland. Buenos dias. In all honesty, what a beautiful thing to see Miss Brenda up here doing her thing, because I do know how hard every day she works to provide care for her loved ones, for her clients. And that's really what makes 2015, the labor movement and working people special. So Miss Brenda, we appreciate your leadership. If folks did not know, in Alameda, we're going to be bargaining shortly for a home care contract that would cover roughly 20,000 home care providers in Alameda County, and we are prepared to march to $20 an hour. Does that sound good? Every home care provider in California deserves at minimum $20 an hour, and in the Bay Area, there's probably a good argument that that doesn't quite make it as well, right, sisters and brothers? So, together, we're putting California's long-term care workers on a path to $20 an hour. We're going to help to lift the wage floor for our home care and nursing home workers. The time for 20 is now. And as Ms. Brenda mentioned, my name is Arnulfo de la Cruz, Executive Vice President of SEIU 2015. I have the honor to serve with our President, April Barrett, and the officers of the union and many of our member leaders here. And a little bit more serious note here, before we get started, I did want to acknowledge the tragic history of today. On a morning much like this, on the very day 2 decades ago, we saw the Twin Towers fall in New York. The Pentagon had burned. We saw terrorists hijack planes and crash them into buildings, killing thousands right here in America. It's hard to fathom even today. As a result, our nation would then enter into 2 long wars, one in Iraq and another in Afghanistan, and hundreds of thousands of American military personnel served in these campaigns, where some gave the ultimate sacrifice for their country. It's a legacy that our nation still lives with today. But I'm excited to say that we have here with us someone that I'd like to recognize, one of our very own union brothers, Garfield Samuels. He served overseas in Haiti, in Iraq, in Bosnia, in special operations, and rose to the rank of captain in the United States Army. Garfield currently works as a teleservice representative at the Kaiser Vallejo Appointment and Advice Call Center. He has already been elected by his fellow union members to the executive board of SEIU United Healthcare Workers West, our sister union. He serves his union with honor, dignity, and pride, just like he served his country. I'm also told that Brother Garfield also leads his union local and phone banking hours for the vote on no recall. Please join me in recognizing Executive Board Member of SEIU veteran Garfield Samuels. So real honor to be here with you today, Garfield. We appreciate your service, brother, and all that you do. And Garfield, if you didn't understand that one, that was in Spanish. They said, "We love you." So together, let us now lower our heads in a moment of silence as we pay respect to those who lost their lives on September 11th, and to the nation's veterans like Garfield who have put themselves in harm's way serving our country. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. So, moving through the agenda, as you all know, we're gathered here today with one of the best allies that we have as caregivers in California, our governor, Governor Gavin Newsom of the state of California. We're not fooled by this recall effort. The people behind the recall are the same people who would like to muzzle us and not have the right to vote. Not only are they doing this in California, they're organizing to do this in states across the country. But you can't fool a caregiver in California. We know what's behind this, right? And we also know that Governor Schwarzenegger has been a champion for long-term caregivers in California. Governor Newsom, sorry. What have we done with Governor Newsom just recently? We restored the 7% cuts that who put into place? Governor Schwarzenegger. And if you talk to a home care worker, they're very clear. The last time there was a recall in California, that was one of the first things that Schwarzenegger did was cut the IHSS program. In addition, Governor Newsom has invested over $200 million in training opportunities for home care workers and also extended Medi-Cal to undocumented adults 50 and over. And sisters and brothers, he did all of that in just 1 year. So we're just barely getting started, right? And we know that the recall is an attack on our democracy. And caregivers care for others, but we also care for our democracy. And we're not going to let them take away our democracy, are we, sisters and brothers? So today, we plan to put an end to the silly, wasteful, and racist Republican recall effort. SEIU 2015 and California long-term care workers say no to the recall. We say, no. ¿Cómo vamos a votar? No. All right. So in just a few minutes, we're all going to pick up our phones and we're going to keep calling voters, right? This election's not over. There's a lot at stake. We have to talk to voters and make sure that we win. We're going to be voting no on the recall, but we also have a few special guests that I'm excited to introduce. First, I really would like to welcome and introduce our host for today, Sharon Cornu, who's the Executive Director of St. Mary's. And again, thank you so much, Sharon, for hosting us today.
Welcome. Welcome to St. Mary's Center. I'm Sharon Cornu. I'm the director. On behalf of our board, seniors, preschoolers, staff, and neighbors, we welcome you today. We gather together on the ancestral lands of the Ohlone people in a community where the Black Panther Party initiated food programs that continue today from this center. I want to acknowledge that the Alameda County electeds with us today, this is not their first time here. They've come here to serve a meal and to support people. So thank you, all of you. St. Mary's is a center of hope, healing, and justice. Hope that funding for homeless services will continue year over year and not be one time only. Healing for communities traumatized by white supremacy and systemic racism, and justice for all people. Thank you. Come back to St. Mary's. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Senator Nancy Skinner.
Hello 2015, hello SEIU, hello all my labor brothers and sisters. I'm so pleased to be here at St. Mary's. Sharon, thank you for your leadership here and your board and your elders for the good work that they do in this community. We need you. And we have so many wonderful people. We have our Congresswoman Barbara Lee, our Attorney General Rob Bonta, our newest Assembly member Mia Bonta, just got sworn in, as many of you know, and of course our fearless 2015 leader, April Barrett. And where was I? In the last time I was in a parking lot on a sunny day with 2015, we were calling voters to support the Communities and Schools and Communities First initiative. So here we are. Hey, we didn't quite pull that one off, but you know, we're going to pull this one off. Right. We are going to stop this recall. And I was there when Schwarzenegger cut our in-home health workers. And not only did he cut the 7%, he cut so much more. He shrank the pool of in-home health workers and your hours and your wages. And it has taken us years, little by little, build it back. And it wasn't until we had this governor, Gavin Newsom, who fully restored that cut. And we just did it. And just like Brenda, you were great up here. And just like you pointed out, It's our governor that protected us against COVID and had the wisdom to have us put on our masks, get our vaccinations, and protect everybody. And anybody, and most of the people that didn't get protected either because they had to go to work and they didn't have employers that were as sensitive, or because they didn't get it. And that's the other job all of us have to do, to help people understand this virus is real and it hasn't gone away. And this recall is real and it's not over yet. And we need to continue the leadership of our good governor who's been acting on our behalf, fighting for us, restoring not only this cuts to our in-home health service workers, but he way expanded child care again, a lot of SEIU workers. And for the first time ever, and we are the first state ever, every child, every kid, K through 12, who goes to school in California has a free 2 meals a day, free, no questions asked. And that is Governor Newsom's leadership. So I am very proudly here to make those calls and to knock on those doors and to get those votes out, because we don't rest until it's over and every vote is in and every vote is counted. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Senator Skinner. And now it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage the newly elected Assembly Member, Mia Banta.
Hello, Oakland. It is so wonderful to be back home with my brothers and sisters here at SEIU 2015 with Labor in the House, with CFT, with SEIU, California here. I'm so thrilled to be here today and make sure that we are proud to support today Governor Newsom, because the governor has been a champion for all Californians. I'm standing here today before you as the Assembly Member for the 18th Assembly District. Hot off the presses, I have to say, I got sworn in on Tuesday and I got to vote. And you walked for me, you texted for me, you called for me, and on Tuesday I walked up to that rostrum and I raised my right hand and I swore to take an oath to protect the Constitution of this great state of California and to serve the Californians in our district, to serve working families, to serve our children, to serve everybody who we could, because that's important. And you know what else I did? I took an oath to protect and serve against enemies, both foreign and domestic. And let me tell you, this recall is an enemy to this state.
Yeah.
It is an enemy to working people.
Come on.
It is an enemy to basic science. It is an enemy to our children. It is an enemy to our essential workers.
Come on.
And so right now, we are going to stand up and make sure that our governor, who has been a friend and a champion of communities of color, who has been a friend and a champion of immigrants, who has been a friend and a champion to workers, to teachers, to educators, is going to have this no on recall come through, because we got work to do.
Yes.
That's why the Republicans have launched this no on recall. They are afraid. They know they are our enemy. They know that we need to stand up right now together. So let's make it happen. You worked hard for me. I know that. I carry you in my heart. The governor sees you working hard for him, and I know he carries you and us in our hearts. So on September 14th, let's continue to do the work. Say no to this recall and make sure that the people who have us in our hearts, the electeds who take care of us and value us and cherish our lives, get reelected and make sure to stay where they should be, in that state house. Thank you.
One more time. I feel like we should have some music right now, because this next person is a bad mama jamma. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Congresswoman Barbara Lee.
It's so good to be in the House of Labor one more time. Thank you. Let me congratulate Assemblymember Banto once more and just thank you all for making sure that Mia was elected to serve as our California member of the Assembly from the 18th Assembly District. Where's Mia? Thank you again, Mia, for stepping up and for serving this community. So good morning, afternoon, SEIU. Let me say to Ms. Brenda, I want to thank you so much for your presence, your work, your diligence, your commitment, and you look beautiful today, my sister. You look beautiful. And April, I want to thank you. I want to thank Sharon Cornu, Mr. De La Cruz, all of you who are here with us today. And let me just take a moment to thank Mr. De La Cruz for the moment of silence, because today is a day of reflection. You know, the tragedies of September 11th attacks and all that our country has been through over the past 20 years still echo in our hearts. And so to Mr. Garfield, I want to thank you for your service. Our veterans deserve everything we can do to help, because you served our country well. Our military did everything we asked them to do, and we salute you today. Thank you again. And I've said it several times, I'm the daughter of a military officer. I come from a military family, and I know the impact of war on families and children. And so as we honor the memories of those whose lives we lost on 9/11, we have to remember, as we did then, we worked together through those tragedies. Now we are working together through this tragedy of the pandemic, of the inequities that we have within our system. And that means we have to make sure that we continue to work to beat back this recall and make sure that Gavin Newsom continues to be our governor, because he has fought so hard to close these inequities, to unify this state. He recognizes the fearlessness of essential workers. He understands that not only should we raise the minimum wage, yes, we want to have a living wage in this country. $20, we need a living wage. A living wage. And we're getting through this because of our essential workers and because of you. And I just have to take a moment to thank you, because I know many of you knew my mother. And it was caregivers, it was home caregivers who helped my mother live for 10 years with COPD. And I want to thank you so much, because I know the hard work you put in taking care of my mother. And sometimes I had to be an advocate with the management for you. But I applaud you, and I am deeply grateful personally. And I know what it means to take unpopular positions if it means doing the right thing. I know that. But you also know that Governor Newsom has taken unpopular positions through this deadly pandemic. But you know what? He has saved lives and livelihoods. He has done the right thing, and for that we are deeply grateful. And that's why we fully intend to make sure we defeat this recall and keep our state moving forward. And so I want to thank every single one of you for the work that you're doing to keep California moving forward with Gavin Newsom as our governor. And we have, 3 more days to go? Is it 3 more days? Every minute counts. Every minute counts. This is one of the most important elections of our lifetime. We said that before with Donald Trump. Well, guess what? The threat of this recall is serious for all Californians, because we know what the Republicans have in mind, especially for communities of color, for working families, for essential workers and unions like SEIU that have helped us through this last year and a half. We know what that's about with regard to this recall, so don't let them fool anybody. We know what it's about. This governor has been uncompromising in protecting our lives and our jobs every step of the way. And so his commitment to those values is really why Republicans are trying to take him down. But guess what? We're here to lift him up and to let him know that we got your back, Governor Newsom. SEIU has your back. We have your back. We have your back. We have his back because it's not just an attack on Governor Newsom, it's an attack on all of us and what we believe in and the progressive victories that we have fought for. So we don't have time to wait. This election is happening right now, right now. So let's get out and do what I know we do best. I know what SEIU does best because you all endorsed me when I first ran way back in the day for the assembly. I know SEIU very well. I know that you know how to organize. I know that you know how to get out the vote. And I am telling you, we have to stay woke. I say that because I don't want anyone to believe that because, of course, we're voting because of you. But we want to make sure that this is a decisive vote. A decisive vote. No on the recall. And I know that we can do it because SEIU, I know that when we fight, what do? We win. When we fight, what do? We win. All right, thank you again. And let's appreciate our governor for what he has done and what he intends to do. Thank you, all of you.
While we're getting our mic clean, show me what democracy looks like. I said, show me what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. Well, we got to keep democracy together, don't we? We got to keep the man who's sitting behind me, don't we? Let's keep the program moving. Let's welcome to the stage our member, Connie Barker.
Hi there, 2015, and all my other brothers and sisters. My name is Connie, and this is my assistive device. I'm a person with a hidden disability, and sometimes I need some help breathing, so I'm going to keep the mask on. I hope you can hear me okay. Can we get another round of applause for the single vote against going to war after 9/11? No one else said it, so I'm gonna. I will tell you that I had a thing on my Facebook that said Barbara Lee speaks for me, and a lot of other people did too. Thank you, Congresswoman, for speaking for so many of us when there was no one else to. And thank you, Governor Newsom, for being a voice that has spoken for so many of us when no one else was willing to. I'm going to tell you some things about this man. I'm going to tell you that in the year 2004, when he had just become mayor of San Francisco, he did something that changed my life. He decided that the way to deal with a president who was saying, let's have a constitutional amendment against same-sex marriage, was to open up the halls of San Francisco City Hall and invite people like me to come and get married. And I stood in those lines, and it changed my life, and it changed the lives of a lot of people I know. And I voted for him because I thought that he would be that same kind of leader for California, and I was not wrong. When it came time to stand up and to call for things to be shut down, he showed that same kind of leadership, and he did it. When I was wearing one mask for several months because nobody thought that home care workers were part of the healthcare force that needed personal protective equipment, he got us our personal protective equipment. And 2015, how many years on end since the last recall have we had to go to Sacramento every bloody year and beg for our 7% back? Every year. And how many of those governors promised us they'd do something, but when they got there, well, that governor kept his promise. That governor was there for us. And now we got these folks who say they want to replace him, who don't believe in masks, who think the right minimum wage is none, who think the right immigration reform is none, and you know that they are cheering every time some court tells people like me that we shouldn't have any rights. Is that who we want running California? Is that who we are going to let run California? You bet your life we're not. And why are we not? Because when we fight, I said when we fight, when we stand for what's right, when we stand together, when we don't give up, when we do not retreat one single inch. You bet we do. And now I am going to get to introduce up here somebody who knows a lot about fighting, a lot about winning, and a lot about not retreating, especially when it comes to issues of racial justice and equity and disability justice. This is the only labor leader in all the years I've been in the labor movement who has reached out to the disability community and tried to build bridges and said we will stand for disability justice as well as the rest of our justice agenda. This is our president and my friend, April Verrett. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Connie. I don't even know how to follow that. 2015. 2015. I miss you all so much. It is great to be here in the town, up in the Bay. Before I get started, I do want to take a brief second to acknowledge a group of people that don't always get their shine, and that is the staff of SEIU 2015, especially the staff that works up here in the Bay Area. It has been a difficult pandemic, especially the last few months. I see you, I love you, I hold you in my heart every single day. When I say recall, you say no. Recall. Recall. When I say recall, you say no. Recall. 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 So clearly we know why we are here. It's really great to be here to see so many faces that I don't get a chance to see enough of anymore. But Nita and Patricia and Mr. Poon and Alvin and all of the members of 2015 up here in the Bay Area, it's great to be with you all again. And to our whole SEIU family, what up 10 to 1? What up 5 to 1? What up UHW? What up Fight for 15? SEIU is a mighty, mighty union. We wear our purple and our red proudly, and we stand together united for a more just society for all. For those of you who don't know me, I'm April Verrett, and I am the proud, proud president of SEIU 2015, the 400,000 long-term care workers that have gotten up every single day during this pandemic. We've walked into nursing homes, we've gone into people's homes, we've done the work of continuing to care for people. We've put on masks, we've stared death in the face, and we've gotten the damn job done. Today, no cussing, Miss Brenda. No cussing, Miss Brenda, okay. I'm sorry. California sees you 2015. California sees you SEIU, and we thank you for your hard work. We are all heroes. I also want to thank some folks who have taken the time out to join us today. I want to thank the president, my good friend and brother of SEIU 10 to 1, Joseph Bryant, Supervisor Wilma Chin, Supervisor from across the Bay, Matt Haney, Supervisor Keith Carson, Supervisor Nate Miley. If I am missing someone, of course, our Attorney General was here, Rob Bonta. But I really appreciate that Rob Bonta came here not as Attorney General. He came here as a proud spouse today. Give it up for that. Thank all of you all for always standing with California caregivers. So we know we're here today to talk about this recall, and we're here to rally ourselves, to muster up our energy for this final push over this last 3 days, to get every single ballot in a drop box with no. Vote no on question 1, put it in the envelope, sign it, forget about it, because question 2 is nothing but a waste of time. Actually, if you ask me, it's a damn disgrace. Whoops, sorry, Miss Brenda. But I wish I could tell you that what we're seeing in California is an aberration. You heard Arnulfo talk about this earlier. It is a part of a systemic strategy that is meant to diffuse our power. You all have to hear me on this one. We cannot allow this to happen in California. And on September 15th, when we are done with this recall, we got to take this show on the road because they are coming after our democracy. They are coming after our democracy. In 48 states, over 389 odd bills have been passed, meant to do nothing except to suppress the vote. And it's mostly the votes of people that look like you and me. It is the same tactics that we saw used in the old stomping grounds of the Confederacy when my grandmother was trying to vote in the middle of the 20th century. They may have asked her how many bubbles was in a bar of soap, but they asking you to show proof of who you are. It is the same fear-mongering, the same othering, the same nasty racism. We gotta say no. We gotta put a stop to it. This is our democracy. This is our democracy. And we will stand up for it. We will participate in it. And we will lead the day and show that this is our democracy. It is our power, and we're going to use it. Hands off our democracy and hands off our governor. Because they know the truth. When elections are free, when they are fair, they can't beat us. When we know how to vote, when we know where to vote, when we know who to vote for, they cannot beat us. And they cannot beat us in this recall. Here in California, we won't let their silly tricks work. Silly tricks are for kids, Larry Elder. We will not let them stifle our democracy because there is way too much at stake. There is way too much at stake when you have champions like Nancy Skinner, when you have champions like Mia Bonta and Rob Bonta, and dare I say Barbara Lee, who speaks for me. When you have champions like our friend Gavin Newsom. I'm not going to take a whole lot of time because you heard Arnulfo talk about what he has done for caregivers. After 18 years of making us beg, we said we're not begging no more. We are standing on our 2 feet. And we are demanding what is rightfully ours. Restore the 7% cut, and he did it. This governor restored that cut that we've been fighting against for 18 years. And we are not begging. We are standing on our 2 feet in our power, unafraid, on our 2 feet about who we are and what we stand for, Miss Camille. The time for groveling is over. We are in the midst of a pandemic, and this governor put $200 million on the table to train us, to make us better caregivers. In the midst of this pandemic, this governor said our babies need to learn universal TK for all. Not just that, no kid who go to school has to pay for a lunch anymore. Free lunches for everybody, no matter how much money you got. This governor is closing down prisons. This governor is taking the fight to our climate once and for all. All around us, our state is burning. We gotta do something about climate change, and this governor is standing up for what is right. But more importantly, this governor leads with his heart. And I think caregivers know a little bit something about heart. Do we not? Do we not? And I know that this governor knows what we know. It's when you lead with love, when you lead with concern for all of us, whether we are at the margins or in the center, when you center caregivers, when you center those that we care for, when you center those that they might call the least of us, when you center us, when you center our needs, when you center building an anti-racist California, that is when we will create a California for all of us. And that is what we are linking our arms with this governor to do. So between now and September 4th, we put an end to this recall. And I hear you, Ms. Brenda. Don't listen to the polls, because we don't just need to win by a little. We need to win by a lot. We need to win by a whole lot. Because we need to send a message, hands off our democracy, hands off our California, because we still got work to do. And in 2015, in SEIU, we stand with Governor Newsom, and we're going to get it done. We are going to create a California for all of us. And I'm proud to introduce the governor that is our champion, that is our leader in this fight, Gavin Newsom.
Thank you, April.
Thank you, April. Thank you, SEIU. Good morning. Good afternoon, SEIU. Thank you all very much for being out here. And I want to get you walking the streets, so I'm going to try to be as brief as I possibly can. But let me thank not only each and every one of you who took the time to be here, but I'm particularly blessed to see so many elected officials, supervisors representing not just the East Bay, but over there on the other side of the Bay, my whole hometown, San Francisco. I'm grateful to the remarkable, your hometown hero, the budget chair for the state Senate, Nancy Skinner, who's just been an incredible partner and champion. I'm honored and humbled. It's wonderful to see. I love what you just said, April. It was good to see Rob taking care of his wife today, our new assembly member. But to have Rob Bont out here, the AG, to see our newly sworn in assembly member here means the world to me. And Connie, you said it better than anybody else. I brag on her everywhere I go because she's been with me almost everywhere I've gone. And that's Barbara Lee over the course of the last few weeks. But let me just pick up a little bit on what Connie said, because we're here at a sober moment, 20 years from 9/11. At a time where people were unified in thought and spirit, were focusing not on their differences, but the things that unite them. At the same time, we were looking for leadership. At a time when people weren't necessarily focused on standing out, she stood tall when she voted against that authorization. And that's not just formal leadership, that's moral leadership. And so again, to Congresswoman Barbara Lee, thank you for being here today. Boy, was she vindicated. To all of you, I'm grateful and humbled. Look, this election is today. The election is tomorrow. The election ends on Tuesday at 8:01 p.m. And it is incumbent upon all of us to do everything in our power, not just to get out the vote, and no one knows how to get out the vote better than SEIU, but it's also incumbent we turn in the ballot, because this is an all mail-in election. 22 million ballots have dropped, and they're in every mailbox, or they're sitting on people's dining room tables, or they're sitting on their couches, or they're sitting on their desks. They may even be sitting on their floors. And that's why we've got to make the calls. We've got to knock on the doors. We have got to text folks to remind them what's at stake in this election. And you've heard from a remarkable group of speakers contextualizing this moment, but I want to just reinforce the point they're making. This moment is not isolated. This moment is connected to the moments we've been struggling through over the course of the last many, many years in this nation. It was punctuated on election night last year with the big lie. It was punctuated a matter of months later on January 6th and the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. It's punctuated every single day, as April and Connie and others have reinforced, by the assault on voting rights all across this country by Republican governors and by Republican legislators. This is part of that narrative. It's an extension of something that we are dealing with at a level and a scale, the likes of which, with respect, I don't think we've had to deal with in our lifetime. The idea that we're even debating our democracy is something I never thought would occur in my lifetime. The idea that you would have folks like Tucker Carlson and others out there flying overseas to celebrate authoritarianisms, it's a remarkable moment in our nation's history. This recall is about catching you while you're sleeping. This recall is about getting us on an off year and an off month while no one else is paying attention. But trust me, the other side has not only been paying attention, they have been organizing for the last year and a half. All you had to do was flip through those stations and watch not just Fox, but these things, Newsmax and One American News, and listen to the Devin Nunes's of the world and Newt Gingrich's of the world, this guy Mike Huckabee. And listen to the RNC. Why is the RNC so committed to this campaign? Why did they write a check to get this on the ballot? Because they know how high the stakes are. It was well stated just a moment ago. We defeated, and you were right, the most important election in your lifetime, Congresswoman Lee said this, was defeating Donald Trump, and you accomplished that goal last November. But I think it's pretty clear we didn't defeat Trumpism. We defeated a candidate, but we haven't defeated his ideas. Quite the contrary. And now they've come back to California. And I say back to California because some of you that are old enough, as old as me, all these gray hairs, you remember that 2021 is a lot like 1994 in California. The xenophobia, the nativism, the fear of the other, 3 strikes and you're out. The big debate right here in the mothership in the East Bay in Oakland at the UC Regents headquarters wasn't about keeping tuition low. It was about eliminating affirmative action. The 1990s marked by the fear of the other, people talking down, people talking past other people because they didn't look like me. What was Prop 187 all about? But we defeated those efforts. We united around a cause that binds us together. We started to reconcile later in that decade our differences. And now we lay claim to this, reinforced just a matter of weeks ago when the new census numbers came out, that we as Californians live in the most diverse state in the world's most diverse democracy. And that's a point of pride. That's a point of privilege. That we celebrate our diversity. We don't tolerate our diversity. We celebrate all those interesting differences, but we unite. As we're reminded, we unite today as a nation reflecting on where we were 20 years ago. We unite around our common humanity. Those things Dr. King talks so evocatively about. We're all bound together by a web of mutuality. There's no leak on your side of our boat. We rise and fall together. That's the spirit of the labor movement. Many parts, but one body. That's the spirit that unites SEIU in 2015 and 10-1 and UHW 5-1. That's what unites the labor movement. That's what unites us together, knits us together as the largest state in America. I'm proud to be a Californian. I'm proud to be with you here today. I'm proud to stand at this critical moment in our state, and I would argue our nation's future. Just briefly, let me remind you with clarity and conviction what is at stake if we don't turn in the ballots and turn out the vote on September 14th. Larry Elder will be the next governor of the state of California. In a matter of weeks, if we don't reject this recall, he'll be sworn in as the next governor of the state of California. And I know you know a thing or two about Larry Elder, but let me fill in some blanks. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this. I was privileged. I was proud to be the first governor in America to sign a reparations bill. When asked about that reparations bill, Larry Elder went so far as to say, well, if we're going to debate reparations, why aren't we considering paying reparations to slave owners? He said their property was taken away. And you can't make that stuff up. But then again, Connie wasn't making it up, and others weren't making up when we were reminded that Larry Elder has long held similar views. He doesn't believe, for example, that there's a glass ceiling. He doesn't believe women have the right to maternity leave. He doesn't believe women are even as smart as men. Actually wrote an op-ed saying women aren't as smart in politics and civics and economics. He doesn't believe in pay equity laws. He doesn't believe in a woman's right to choose. He celebrates what just happened in Texas. He said it over and over and over, that he looks forward to being the next governor of the state of California to appoint conservative judges, to use his line item veto to cut funding for family planning. This is what's at stake if we don't turn out and vote no on this recall. I cannot impress upon you more. Not only is he anti-labor, you heard it a moment ago, the entire cause that united the labor movement in the state of California, where you led this nation in the fight for 15. Larry Elder doesn't even believe in 15 cents. He believes the minimum wage should be zero. Let the market decide, he said, just like he said when we eliminate Obamacare and eliminate the California Health Exchange and eliminate protections for pre-existing conditions. He said charity will make up for that. Just when he said we should cut Medicaid, we should privatize Medicare, we should privatize to our seniors, privatize Social Security. He has been consistently out of the mainstream. He has consistently been, dare I say, to the right of Donald Trump. That's what's standing between this moment and September 14th. That decision will have profound consequences. Perhaps, though, none more important than these final two. I will have the privilege of being with President Biden in just a matter of days. We'll be highlighting the fact that California is not unique on the west coast of the United States of experiencing extreme weather and extreme drought. In fact, you saw yesterday the new analysis. We are living through the hottest summer in the history of this state. June to August were the hottest months in the history of this state. The nation is living through the hottest summer, hotter than even the Dust Bowl. The hots are getting hotter, the dries are getting drier, and as you saw on the west coast, or rather the east coast of the United States, where people were drowning in their cars, the wets are getting wetter. The extremes are here because climate change is real. Climate change is on the ballot September 14th. And here we are in California leading the nation, leading the world in low-carbon green growth. We're changing the way we produce and consume energy. We're proud of that leadership. We're the tip of the spear of the new reality, but we're also the solution to the problem. And yet Larry Elder believes climate change is a crock, a myth. And seemingly his solution is to increase offshore oil production in the state of California. Again, you can't make this up. But perhaps, as I said, the most consequential, and I'll end on this because you got to be exhausted being out here this last hour, is a life and death decision that you have to make on Tuesday. And I don't say that because one is prone often, just days before elections, to a little hyperbole. But I don't think it's hyperbolic at all to say that issues of life and death are on the ballot on Tuesday. Please consider what's happened. Please consider what's happened in states like Florida and Texas and Alabama and Mississippi and South Carolina. Think about what's happened in their ICUs and their hospitals. Look at all those children, our kids that are hospitalized because you have governors that don't believe in public health and public science, that don't believe in wearing face masks, that don't believe that vaccinations should be required for healthcare workers. Just consider, Larry Elder says, this is his go-to line, this is his applause line, this is his closing argument. You need nothing more clear than this choice. His closing argument is before his first cup of tea, before he's sworn in as the next governor of the state of California, he will use the power of the pen by signing an executive order eliminating face masks in our public schools, putting our children's not just education at risk, but quite literally their health at risk, and will sign an executive order denying the ability to require vaccine verifications and or mandates for our public health workers. The contrast and the stakes could not be higher. This election is a matter of life and death. Public health is on the ballot. Climate science is on the ballot. Social justice is on the ballot. Racial justice is on the ballot. Economic justice, labor, is on the ballot. Environmental justice is on the ballot. So what are we going to do on Tuesday, September 14th? Let's repeat after me. Are we going to vote no on this recall? What are we going to do on September 14th? Vote no, 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 no. Thank you, SEIU. Thank you for all your incredible work. Thanks for getting out there on the streets. Thanks for stepping up and stepping in to protect not only this state, but our country. And thanks to these remarkable leaders that are behind me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you all very, very much.
When I say vote, you say no. Vote. No. Vote. No. Cuando yo digo vota, usted dice no. Vota. No. Vota. No. Sí se puede.
I'm gonna get my one last picture on this campaign.
I won't get any time off, but I'll get stressed.
Okay.
It's good though. Let's thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Love you. Let me get my last picture of the campaign. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your help.
Benito Munoz.
Yeah.